Hey, fifth grade. Just wanted to say hi. Welcome to Thursday to my new groups of the few of you, or not the few of you, but those of you that are new to Ray today in terms of like your first day back. Welcome back. We're glad to have you. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the hallways. So please introduce yourself. Remember, I know you only from the little picture on the screen if you turn it on. So if you see me in the hall, say, "Hi, Mr. Papson. I'm whatever." If you're Jordan, say I'm Jordan. If you're Anastasia, say I'm Anastasia, and tell me who you are. Although I know who Anastasia is because I met you, I think, on Tuesday. Anyway, um, so please say hello and make sure you're not a stranger. Since I've seen you quite a few times in online class, but I'd love to actually meet you guys in person as well. For those of you at home, we're on our first week of the last quarter of the year, which is pretty nice. And we had conferences yesterday. I didn't meet with the fifth grade parents, but if your parents do need to talk to me, I'd be happy to talk to them. So have them email me. I wanted to show you today's problem. It has to do with what we did last week, or I'm sorry, on Monday and Tuesday. We talked about time and converting time. It's related to that, not exactly that. It's also related to the decimal unit that we did earlier in the year where we were adding decimals and multiplying decimals. So it's some of that too. So I wanted to talk about this problem. I want this problem to be done in your notebook. I know you guys love doing work in your notebook, and I know you love taking pictures of it and sending it to me as part of the document. So I decided to give you another chance to do that. Isn't that fun? I'm a nice guy, huh? All right, but the reason I like the notebook work is it means that I can see what you're doing in terms of the math. Like I can actually see you doing the calculations because you write the calculations down, and that matters a lot. That really helps in math. So, all right, this is a boat problem. It has to do with typically on these problems, they give you information on the top and they tell you about the deal, right? And this is exactly that. It's a deal. Like I'm going to rent a boat, and I'm like, all right, first of all, these boats are ridiculously cheap. I just want to tell you that. Like these prices that they're giving us are not normal prices. Like there is no way that anybody's going to ever rent you a motorboat for $1.50 for 15 minutes. No way. Right? Because you could burn more gas than that in about 30 seconds and you'd burn through $1.50 worth of gas. So I'm not sure what kind of boat this is, but in any case, we'll go with it. So we should change that. We should make it like, 10.50 for 15 minutes. That might be more realistic. Anyway, we won't do that. We won't do that. This problem gives you a chance to look at those prices. So for renting a boat, you're walking up to the counter and you're like, I want to rent a boat, because we do that all the time. You just go up and rent a boat. And, fifth graders always rent boats. Like, that's pretty normal. Fifth graders renting motorboats. Like, wouldn't that be a good life? Be like, I'm going to go out on the boat today. So the motorboats are $1.50 for 15 minutes. Once again, no way. No way. However, we're going to go with it. $1.50 for 15 minutes. If I could get a boat for $1.50 for 15 minutes, I think I'd just keep it. I would rent it forever. And I'd be like, I just have a boat now, because that's probably cheaper than actually buying a boat. Renting it for $1.50 for 15 minutes, that's a really good price. Okay, I digress. $1.50 for 15 minutes. Now remember how much 15 minutes is. That means a quarter of an hour, right? So how much would it be for 1 hour on that boat? So I want you thinking about that. Like if I know what it is for 15 minutes, how do I figure it out what it is for an hour, right? Just try to think about that. And then for the rowboat, which if the motorboats are only $1.50, for 15 minutes. The rowboats are $2.25 for 30 minutes. Now, that seems ridiculously overpriced considering how cheaply they're giving us the motorboats. So I'll just point that out. I would definitely take the motorboat in this case. Now, we notice that the time is different. On the rowboats, they're renting them in increments of 30 minutes, right? So we want to pay attention to that. Now, question one. Now, these aren't hard. You guys are going to do well on these. Tara rents a motorboat at 10:15 a.m. She returns the motorboat at 10:45 a.m. For how long does she rent the motorboat? So I'm thinking if my daughter was standing here next to me, my second grade daughter, I think she might be able to figure this one out. I'm not sure. I think she would. So I think you guys can figure this out too. And then it says, how much should she pay? Meaning, how much will it cost her? So the first thing we're going to do is think about time, right? 10:15, and I got my little pen here. Let's write this. So she rents the motorboat. So we're going to say motorboat. And you might write this in your notebook. You might write number one. Here's what you should do. You should I did that terribly. That's in the wrong place. You should definitely write number one up here and circle it, right? Because this is question number one. Motorboat. And then you say motorboat rental from 10:15 to 10:45. Now, if you're thinking about the clock thing, right, we can think about like how much time is elapsed. What's the difference? And the way to think about that is like the difference between 45 and 15. So I can just go, and this one's pretty easy. I think most of you guys got this. 45 minus 15, we're talking minutes here, right? Because 10:15 means minutes, would give us 30 minutes, right? 5 minus 5 is 0, 4 minus 1 is 3. So 30-minute rental, right? 30 minutes. That's how long we're renting it. So how long does she rent the motorboat? 30 minutes. That would be your answer. And what I would do on your notes is I would be like, all right, when you get the first answer, you would circle it. I would put a little box around it and be like, okay, 30 minutes of renting the boat. Notice that I called it out in minutes, so it's really clear. And then I'm going to say, how much did it cost? So let's go back to our blue. And how much should she pay? So we know that motorboats cost $1.50. Oh my God, that's so cheap. I can't believe they would rent it for that much. For 15 minutes. And what we want to know is she's renting it for 30 minutes. So wouldn't that be 15 minutes plus 15 minutes? So I think what I'm saying is that if it's $1.50 for the first 15 minutes, it's also got to be $1.50 for the next. Should I write the next? The next 15 minutes. And I know I'm making this more complicated than it needs to be, but and then we just add them up. We've got 15 minutes plus 15 minutes, right? So we've got from 10:15 to 10:30. We've got from 10:30 to 10:45. And when you add this up, remember decimals. You line up the decimal, and we go 0 plus 0 is 0. 5 plus 5 is 10. We bring down the 0 and carry the 1. And then we bring down the decimal point, and we count 1 plus 1 plus 1 gives me $3. Now, that means $3 for 30 minutes. Once again, that's so cheap. And I'd grab my red pen and I'd be like, let's circle this answer, or at least kind of give it a bracket around here and be like, that's my answer right here. $3 for 30 minutes. And that's the answer to number one. You're done. You probably don't need to do that much work, but that's an easy problem. I'm just curious. If I rent that motorboat for like, let's say 10 hours. I want to go, like, where are you going to go in a half hour on a motorboat? Come on, like I want that thing all day. So how much would this be for 10 hours? And the way I'd figure, you don't have to do this. This is separate. This is my problem. I want to know because if I'm seeing $1.50 per 15 minutes, I'd say $1.50, right? Times 4. Well, actually, I should do it this way. Let's go back. You don't have to do this part. I'm just calculating. If you want to write this, it would help. I'm going to go times 4. And you know why I'm doing times 4? Because I want to know how much it is per hour. This is for 15 minutes. So times 4 would give me 60 minutes, right? An hour has 4:15, like obviously I'm drawing a little clock here like I did on Monday. Like that's 15 minutes. If I want to get it for the whole hour, I got to do, all of that. And then plus 1, 2, 3 more, that's times 4 times. So I'm going to do this real quick math. Remember how we do this one? We count the decimal places. We say, okay, 4 times 0 is 0. 4 times 5 is 20. Carry the 2. This is a plus 2. Remember when you borrow in math, or when you're multiplying, you plus it. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 2 is 6. And where does the decimal go? Well, you count decimal places. It goes over 2. Or we estimate. We used to talk about estimating. Remember that? All right, $6. $6 for 1 hour. Oh my God, that's so cheap for 1 hour. Like I said, I'm going to buy this boat. I'm just going to rent it forever, not even bother buying it. $6 for 1 hour. Let's say I wanted it for 10 hours. I'm going to go times 10, and I just want to know how much is. Oh, that looks not like lined up. I should always line it up. $6 times 10. And I want to remember, do you guys remember when we multiply a decimal by 10, it means we just move the decimal over one place. That's all we have to do. So I know right away, this is actually going to be $60 for 10 hours. Oh my God, that's so cheap. Can you imagine what you could do with a boat for 10 hours? Think of all the places you could go. You could like you could drive that boat across Lake Michigan, which would be that'd be so cool. If I could get a boat for $1.50 an hour, I would be riding across Lake Michigan every day just because. Just because. I just go to Michigan. I'd be like, I'm going to I'm going to Holland, Michigan today. And then the next day I'd get the boat again and I'd be like, I'm going to Grand Haven today. And then the next day I get the boat again. I'm going to Muskegon. I'd be going to a different place in Michigan every day. Not because I really care about going there. I would just be like, I'm going across the lake because it's so cheap. I'm just going to do it, right? I'd probably spend about $100 a day in gas, but that sounds like it's included, which means I'm making money on the deal. It's like I'm making money, right? Getting rich, actually spending money, not really, but I get to go to Michigan a lot. That'd be good. Okay, I, I'm a way off topic, but the point being, I want to see your work here. I want to see what you do. You don't have to do this part right here that I just did, all that stuff about renting the boat for 10 hours, because that would be awesome, but they didn't ask us to do that. But you do have to do this for number one. See what I wrote there? And then you got to answer number two, number three, and number four, which isn't listed as number four, but you have to do it. And then in your notes, make sure you label each problem 1, 2, 3, 4. Make sure you show what you did, make sure you label it, and then take a picture of it and turn it in as part of this document. You got it? Got it? No problem. You got it. You guys are awesome. All right. All right, my friends. Have a lovely day. Once again, if you're back at Ray today, even if you were here before, it's great to have you back. I'm looking forward to seeing you all in the hallways. And have a good day. Bye, everybody. Oh, got to find how to turn it off. Here we go.